it is so many variables that happens in a deal, and you can have a deal that's close to closing and it fall apart.
My name is Kevin McIntosh, and this is the Closing Table, where we talk to experts about their experience in real estate all across the country. Let's go. Welcome back to the Closing Table. I am your host, Kevin C. McIntosh. How you doing? And joining us on this episode, got the pleasure of speaking with another top producing real estate professional and somebody who has a nice setup in the studio right now. We want to welcome Antwan Hawkins. What's going on, Antwan?
What's going on, brothers?
Doing good myself. Thank you so much for being here and accepting our invitation to be a guest on the Closing Table and share your knowledge. We appreciate that first and foremost.
Thank you for having me.
Let's get down to some business, man. We are going to talk about what's going on in your market, but I want to talk about you first and foremost, man. I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself in 60 seconds or less, if possible. Tell us who you are outside of real estate, please.
Well, outside of real estate, first and foremost, I'm a man of God. I am a licensed attorney in the state of Michigan.
Nice.
I'm a mentor. I am a teacher, and that's one of the part of the reasons why I love doing real estate. I like teaching people different things. In addition, more than anything, I'm a people's person. I like beating people outside and interacting with different people.
Nice. That seems like a recipe for success when it comes to real estate and most industries for the most part. So that's interesting to hear from you, sir. I want to talk about your specific business model, if you want to call it that. I want you to kind of talk about your real estate business and talk about and hit a few key points if you can. How long you've been licensed, what you would consider your niche or specialty, and then any notable achievements and whatnot throughout your career.
All right, so my business, real estate business, is built on connections. I have two amazing brokers that I work with. One of them is named Al Hudson. He's worked for Next Door Lending. And then my other one is named Ed Williams. He works for Black Equity Lending. Those two guys, I trust them with any transactions. I know Al has pulled so many deals out of the hole for me. Ed, he was my banker when I was purchasing my home. I sent several family members to him. These two guys are honest people that I know is going to get the job done. They're going to do the best by the client. I also surround myself with great companies such as Window Steel. Window Steel takes all my professional photos. They do a lot of marketing for me as far as creating websites. I had them do virtual walkthroughs, virtual stagings. They do drones, all kind of things. I even shot a commercial for them in Latham Village a few years ago. In addition, I have marketing people that send out postcards for me. Robinson Realty and Marketing. They put together a lot of my every door direct mails as well as my just listed. And also, as in 2023, I got a new agent on my team. His name is Trevor Taunton.
Okay.
He works for eXp Realty with me. He's an excellent agent. He's already closed the deal within the first month. He closed the deal. In addition, he has listings and everything. So that's part of me. One of my proudest moments because I'm able to teach somebody what I've learned, and he's very eager to learn anything that I'm giving him. If I had to say one of my niches, I love being a listing agent. The aspect of marketing a home, that's where the competitions and my competitive drive comes in because I'm trying to get that home sold fast as I can. So ideally, one of my strategic things that I do, I like to list homes on a Thursday, and I like to, if the house is priced correctly, it'll be going by that Sunday. We'll be making a decision on what we're going to do as far as offer wise. But the key aspect of everything I have to say is pricing the home right, as well as marketing. You got a lot of marketing tools that you can use to get those things out to people, whether it's social media, every door direct mails, different ad campaigns that I can do. I have something that's like a open house on steroids, which is that the best bidder type of event that you can do if your list is not selling. It's a lot of things that I like to do as far as that goes.
Mm,
And if I had to say one of my best and highest accomplishments happened this year in 2023, I was able to get a home that was worth $1.1 million under contract and sold in Ann Arbor. That was a big deal for me. I always wanted you see all these $1 million listings and all this stuff. You want to be a part of that. So I was able to get that accomplished this year. And it was one of my most challenging deals because this particular home had a lot of knob and tube in it, which is wiring. It was in the early 1900s, which is outdated now. So one of the obstacles I had to do was like, well, can I get this house insured? So we did a lot of negotiating with the seller side, and we was able to get that knob and tube ripped out. We was able to get the home insured. I was able to get my client money back from the seller to fix a lot of that stuff. So my client ended up being happy at the end of the day. So it was a good deal for me. And also in 2022, I recently joined EXP Realty,
mm-hmm.
and they acknowledged me as one of the upcoming agents. I got an award for that last year in December. So this year I'm just pushing forward and trying to make this 2023 a better year. We're already in the fourth quarter, so we push it forward.
Good, man. That's what's up. I love to hear that, man. Hardworking, man. Hitting on a lot of different points. You say you just hired someone recently and they're already hitting the ground running. So your leadership is already showing that to be effective. And you're doing a lot, man. You got a lot going on, and I'm glad to hear about your achievement too. You actually, reaching one of your goals of $1 million+ listing. So great to hear, man. I love to hear that, man. So
Yes,
you
sir.
already talked about you reaching out, basically being in the Ann Arbor area, at least for that $1 million listing. So let's get into the area that you do serve completely. I want you to describe your current market twofold. One, geographically, get into many details as possible for someone who may have never been there. Secondly, get into some of the statistical data when it comes to real estate there.
Well, really, I'll service anywhere within the state, within reason. But primarily, I serve Oakland County and Wayne County. Now, Oakland County is one of the richest counties in the state of Michigan. When we
Mm-hmm.
look at the average medium sale home in Oakland County in 2023 was about $350,000. But you can get a house ranging from a dollar all the way up to $14.5 million in Oakland County. I mean, it's a lucrative area. When we look at Wayne County, the sale price is a little bit different. I mean, we're looking at 175,000 on an average house, but it
Mm-hmm.
ranges. You can get houses in the millions in Oakland and Wayne County as well. Now, Wayne County is the home of the Detroit Lions, the
Mm-hmm.
Pistons, the Red Wings, the Tigers. So
Mm-hmm.
those are some of the major pieces there, and we also got the Fox and a lot of different entertainment areas in Wayne County. When you look at Oakland County, primarily we have a lot of businesses out here. It's a lot of transactions being done in Oakland County. It's a beautiful area, a lot of lakeside homes. Just a nice area. Now I have
Interesting.
stretched as far as out to Genesee County as well, the Flint area, Flint
Mm-hmm.
Township area, but primarily I like to stay in Oakland and Wayne County.
Got you. Got you. Hey, Antwan, I'm going to need you to stand on something that you just recently said, sir, because our audience just heard you say Oakland County is one of the richest counties in Michigan, but you also mentioned you can get a property there from a dollar all the way to like 14 million. How are you getting a property for a dollar in one of the richest counties in Michigan?
Well, I say a dollar because some people sell stuff to their family members for nothing, and we got quick claim deeds.
Ah,
So there's
mm,
always the ability to get a property for that low. It's not generally a listed
good point.
property, but say if I'm a father, I want to deed my property over to my kid, I might deed it over to him for a dollar. That's consideration at that point.
Yeah, yeah, good point. That's a great loophole right there.
It's a
I wasn't
loophole right
expecting that,
there.
but yeah, that's no wrong answer right there. All right, cool, man. Well, good to hear, man. Metro Detroit area, Wayne, Oakland areas, and like you say, even stretch out to Washtenaw, even Genesee counties. Great, man. You out here making your moves around the state, at the state that you are licensed in too. So I understand the hustle
Yes.
getting around. I want you to share a story if you have one where you can recall a heartwarming event of a seller who had an emotional attachment to their home. Can you talk about going through that actual transaction and how you helped them go through the process of letting go and moving on?
Well, so unfortunately, sometimes as a real estate agent, you represent clients that's going through divorce, and they don't
Mm.
necessarily want to sell that home. So when they're going through a divorce, that is particularly, they had their kids grow up there, different things. I had several divorce clients over the years, and the best thing to do with that situation is to try to get them to understand, hey, this is what needs to be done. This is what the court order is done, saying, and I'm going to represent both sides as zealously as possible. So whether I was initially contacted by the wife or the husband, I always try to make sure everybody feels included. Now it's emotional because people don't want to get rid of that property at that point because but it's something that's forced upon. The best thing that I do is to try to make sure everybody feels comfortable. Everybody's aware of anything that's going on in the transaction. Everybody knows what my marketing plan is, and everybody feels free to call me and contact me anytime they need to speak to me.
Mm. Mm. Hey, so this is an interesting follow up to that. Have you ever had a situation where you kind of got in between the husband and the wife during that transaction? Maybe they were kind of bumping heads and you were, in the middle
Yes.
of that. Oh, I see the look on your face. Come on, we need the story. We
So
need the story.
I had a listing, and I'm not sure. So the husband was trying to force the sale of the home. I'm not sure if the wife wanted to necessarily sell the house. So uh, the it didn't get sold as quick as we wanted it to.
Uh-huh.
The husband was constantly like, "What's going on? What's going on?" He was trying to like push the sale. Unfortunately, in my opinion, we had a lot of showings. It was canceled for some strange reason. Um,
Mm.
so we end up pulling it off the market, and the wife was able to try to refinance the home, get the equity out of. That's always an option for people getting divorced. Obviously, I would love to sell the house, but if there's a lot of contention there, and obviously we had a lot of showings club canceled that was stopping the sale. Sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet and just take the equity out of the house and move on.
I feel it. I feel it. So essentially, what they would just refinance, take the equity, and probably give it to one of the parties so they can just move forward. And
Yep,
I
yep,
get
that's all
that.
it is, and they got to keep the
I get
house
that.
though.
Yeah. Interesting, man. Interesting. Well, thank goodness that the story didn't include any fights or things being thrown around. I just knew that was about to come in this story, but I'm happy that it
No,
didn't.
no, no fights. Yeah, probably a lot of verbal fights, but fortunately, I ain't
Yeah.
get to see all of it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, good, good. I'm glad you're safe, man. Marked you safe from that. Hey,
yeah.
so any legal or zoning issues that you had to go through with one of your transactions? Please talk about what you had to go through with that, and then how you kind of resolved that.
Yes, I had a commercial building out in my hometown, Eastern Michigan. This particular property was deeded over as a sheriff deed. So at that point, you had to get a quiet title action done on it. And luckily, since I am a licensed attorney, I know a lot of attorneys that can help with that action. So I was able to get it over to someone to help, but unfortunately, it was COVID time, so courts were shut
Mm.
down. So it took about a year for us to get that title quieted. But on the back end, I was still talking to clients, and a lot of clients wanted to put car dealerships there, different things. So I had to talk to the zoning boards and just different things to try to figure out how to actually get this property sold. We was able to get it eventually sold to a church. I was able to represent both sides, but that was one of those. That was one of the not the only time, because you oftentimes find that homes getting deeded over in quick claim deeds, so you have to get the title perfected prior to the title company being able to close on the deal. So, and it
Mm.
happens often. I mean, I hate to say it happens often. When you don't have a
Oh yeah.
warranty deed, you got to get it cleared up.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. The deed part, the deed situation can get very, very muddy and blurry in a lot of cases, and the situation of property lines and surveys and things that can tie up a lot of different transactions with the legality and zoning and things like that. So
Definitely.
that's a great perspective right there that you shared with us. Um, I see that you share some things that you do to market homes as opposed to other agents. Can you mention some of the key services that you offer that you feel makes you stand out? And do you, by any chance, have an example of you taking another client? I wouldn't say taking, but another client, a client coming from another agent to you for you to sell them their home, and you did it successfully.
All right. I want to talk about that the second question first because this is
Uh
one
oh.
of so one of my first listings that I got was because I took a client to a house in Green Acres, and my client didn't like the house.
Mm,
But once that listing expired, I went back to the house because I thought the house was beautiful. I looked in it, I saw everything. I saw ways that this house could get approved and remarketed the next time around. So I went back and knocked on the door, and I said, hey, my client didn't like this house. I see the contract has expired. Are you guys still interested in selling? So the guy that was living there wasn't the owner anymore. He was the owner's brother. So he contacted his
mm,
brother out in California and said, "It's an agent here. You know, he seems pretty cool, whatever. He's came here and with his marketing plan, whatever, and he would like to talk to you." So next thing you know, I had my listing, and after I got that listing, one of the first people I called was Window Steel. I had Window Steel
hey.
come out and take professional photos. That house was so hot. Once we got those good photos out, once we cleaned it out, we got it sold. So
Mm.
that was a proud moment in my professional career, in my very first listing that I had, a transaction through that.
Oh, that
Um,
was your first listing?
my first listing. Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So some of the things that I do as far as marketing when I do get a listing, I talked about that best bidder event, and that's something
Mm-hmm.
that not a lot of agents do, but it's something that you can do if you having a house that's kind of hard to sell or something, or a business kind of hard to sell.
Mm-hmm.
The best bidder event, you market it, you send out flyers and try to get people in there, and you have a minimum bid. So say if your client want $300,000 for the particular property, you can send everything out, and the starting bid on it will be $200,000. So you get clients in there. It's like an open house. You run a
Mm-hmm.
2 day event, like an open house. You get people come in there, and they are actually bidding on a chance to make an offer on the property. So your client is not necessarily tied in on the actual offer. But say if somebody come in and they win the bid and they submit it for 250, at that point they get the opportunity to present that offer to my client, and my client obviously can take it or not. But that's another strategic thing that you can do outside of open houses to get people in there and attract people. Because when they see a property, it's something that car dealerships do a lot of times. Like they say, "Oh, this particular car for $599 a month." They never say that this car is like 80 or $70,000. They usually use a different tactic. So when
Right,
I
right.
come
Good
in there
point.
with a bidder event that's saying $200,000, it's not misleading them, but it's an opportunity to place the offer on the property.
Mm,
So it's
mm.
kind of to draw people in.
Good
Another
point.
thing that I like
Interesting.
to do as far as marketing wise is the every door direct mails, the
Yeah.
just listed. Sometimes you got people that's in the community that wants to live, they want their family member to live right next door to them. So it's easy when you send those listings out and just listing postcards. Sometimes, well, oh, this house is on for sale, so let me get my family member over there to try to buy this particular property. Um, in addition, we already talked about some of the things that Windows still does. The digital websites, the drones you can get, the virtual tours. That virtual tour thing came in handy in COVID because you
Mm-hmm.
didn't have a lot of people didn't want to go to the houses. You can just slide your finger or use the computer and slide it over and see every room within the house without even having to go see it. That came in handy a lot. Uh, as well as, if the particular client wants me to do it, I'm gonna shoot a commercial. I don't mind being in front of the camera. I'll shoot a commercial, market it on social media. You get those. A lot of people don't go on Zillow anymore. They go on Facebook, they go on Instagram. They try to figure out what's on the market. And when they think about real estate and they think about somebody selling a home, I want them to think about me first.
Yep. 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 Good point, man. Good point. And the marketing tactics seem to be working, especially because you use Windows still. I gotta applaud you for that. You said our name about 7, 8 times, so we gotta clip that up. But anyway, yo, it's definitely, I've heard that multiple times, and I don't even mean to just mention Windows Steel because that is our sponsor and they are a great, wonderful company. But nonetheless, I've heard the story multiple times of how it breeds success in listings. I mean, it's almost foolproof, like using those professional not even just the photos, the virtual tours, the drones, the layouts, all of that type of stuff comes together, and it just creates an experience for any home buyer or anybody that's even listing their home. So I'm glad you highlighted that because
I just want to say one thing.
Very important. Yes,
Um,
please.
when you're hiring an agent, you don't want an agent coming there with the iPhone
Oh
or Android, whatever the phone might be. You could do that yourself.
no. Yeah.
You could go. The agent gonna put their sign out in front of your house. You can go put your own sign out. That's just giving them fame. You're paying somebody to market your home. You're paying somebody with the marketing expertise to get this job done. You don't want them to get the commission for no reason. So, in my opinion, if the agent is not going there with professional photos, I don't give a care if the listing is a $30,000 listing. And you can check my track record. I've have sent windows still. I've sent professional photos. Doesn't matter what the price of the particular property is. I'm going to market it correctly because that's my name on there.
There you go.
So I want it to look good at all
Mm-hmm.
times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that, man. You keep doing that and spread that good Windows Steel word. Hey, I want you to reflect for us real quick, man. I feel like you touched on this a little bit, but talk to us about your earlier days doing real estate. You have any mistakes or lessons that you learned from earlier transactions, and can you talk about how they kind of adjusted your business model going forward?
All right. So here's the thing. Early on, if you don't know, you're excited to get a client, but you need to do that interview with that client in the beginning to figure out what they actually need and what they're actually looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Without that, you will be showing 25, 30 homes without getting anything on under contract. So that's one mistake that I've done in the past. I've just taken people out there and tried to show them homes and didn't have a good game plan before I did it. Now, one of the most egregious things I probably did looking back is to take client out there that didn't have a pre-approval.
Ooh,
I've done it
wow.
before. Friends, family. When I first started, I was just so eager and happy to get a client. Somebody wanted something. I was going to take them out and see the house. But that's a big mistake. Without that
Mm-hmm.
pre-approval, you ain't got no. That's not a client. That's a
Mm-hmm.
person that you taking to go see a house. That's it. No money there. So you want a client to have a present and ready ability to buy that particular property. That's a big problem I had early on. Like I just was trying to get any client I could, and I was just showing houses. You
Yeah.
know.
That's so funny. Taking somebody to go see a house without a pre-approval is like asking
That's a
somebody to
rookie
give you a
mistake.
ride to a dealership to go window shopping. Like that is hilarious to me, man. But that's a
Yeah.
great point though, because I can see a lot of people, whether you're buying a home or you're probably a brand new agent, some people would just think that you can just go see homes without that pre-approval. No,
Hmm.
you need that pre-approval, or
You
else you're
need it.
literally just window shopping. I wouldn't even say window shopping because sometimes even when you're window shopping, you might be able to afford it. You just want to speculate a little bit, but that
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't
That's
even
it
know
was
if
a
you
rookie
can afford it.
mistake, and you got a friend or somebody say, "Hey, I want to see this house," or a family member. You gotta learn how to say no to when this is business. No, I
Yeah,
can't do it. I got to get you over. Now I got Al Hudson and
yeah,
Ed Williams. Let me get you over to them first. so we can determine whether or not you're a client.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not, then we can try to get you approved down the line, let you know what you need to do.
Yep.
But yeah, I can't make the, that's a mistake that I tell every agent. Do not show a house without a pre-approval. Don't do it.
Man, talk about a huge waste of time right there.
Waste of time.
Since we already talked about family, I'm already glad you mentioned it. It's an easy transition from here because a lot of agents already say when you first start off, a lot of people that are going to be some of your customers are going to be friends and family for the most part. So how do you strike this balance when you are working with family between being a professional real estate advisor and a trusted family member? And do you have any examples of a solution of a transaction where you had to balance the two perspectives?
Well, so the thing about family, sometimes you're always going to be looked at as, a kid, a little,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So when you grow up and you got the knowledge, you got to stand on that knowledge that you got and not
Mhm.
let people try to, family members try to tell you, something that they haven't studied or something that they don't necessarily know in today's world. I mean, oftentimes people feel like they're an expert when they bought one house, but I mean, it's not as simple as that. Every transaction is different. And
Mhm.
anybody in the real estate profession will tell you that every transaction is different. You might have 10 different battles in this transaction that you might not have had in that other transaction. So that's something you got to really put your hat on is get the respect that you deserve as far as that transaction goes. And it's not often, but sometimes you will run across that when dealing with friends or family members. Another thing I have to say is, it's like I said, showing homes without approval. It's your cousin, it's your auntie. They want to see a house and they hit you up like, well, I'm good for the approval and this and that, but they haven't went through the process. So you might
Yeah.
go take them to see that house and nothing comes of it.
Yeah.
And
Oof.
unfortunately, I've had friends in the past that have, you know, sent me out to see some homes, and then they went with another realtor, and behind my back. And that's another lesson I'm gonna tell younger agents and agents in general: get the buyer exclusivity signed by that client. Get it
Mhm.
signed because that way it protects you from getting your time wasted. You know, and not saying that working with an individual is a waste of time. That's never, because your job is to first off make sure somebody's safe, get them in the house, educate them, and things like that. That is valuable stuff. But what I'm talking about is time management ordeal. You need to make sure you're protecting your business because this is a business in the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, um, otherwise, a family member and a friend is a good client because they're an easy client to get. They should
Okay.
trust you. And you know, I've sold my mom a house, my grandmother, and those are one of my proudest moments I have to say in my
Oh
career.
yeah.
Just being able to get them into where they needed to be, and they knew that I was going to do whatever I could to protect them,
Right.
and that's how I treat every client.
I got 3 follow-up questions to that. Feel free to curve me however you want to, because one of these might be an outrageous question. I don't know. But one, one. So to date, with your experience, you are okay. You'll still do transactions with family members as long as they're pre-approved. Is that correct? You're not against
I'm
it?
gonna always do a transaction with a family member.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. I know some people are like, I gotta separate the two. So I just want to be clear on that. Second
Yeah.
question to that. Oh, go ahead, please elaborate.
I mean, I've been doing this since 2016 now. I've established myself now. So
Mm-hmm.
it goes back to that first part, the respect aspect. You know, once
Mm,
you got the respect of the client, then they're gonna treat it just like it is. It's business. You know,
true.
uh, and another important thing is once you set that expectation for them as well, then they just gonna, you letting them know what's going on in the market. And once the expectation is set well, then most of the time they're fine.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. My second question to you is, and I think you did say this, but just for clarification, if a family member who knows that you are an agent chooses to go to another agent, does that make you feel any type of way? Still
Of
to this
course,
date. Okay.
Of course, it hurts. Like it's just like, man, like this is what I do. Like I can understand going to different people for different other things, but like this is what I do. And for them to
Mm,
go to somebody else, uh, if it's not if they know that I'm out active and moving about, which I have been the past 7 years, and they go to somebody else, yeah, it hurts.
mm.
It's like this is I'm a firm believer in keeping everything in the family.
I get it. Yeah.
And if I can do anything to help a family member, I'm gonna do it. And that's how I feel like people life should be.
Yeah.
Your family unit, you should be able to trust them. You should be able to go to them and do business together.
No, that's real honest. That's real honest of you. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't think you were gonna say that, but yeah, I'm glad you were real about it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, family, if y'all out, no, don't go to nobody else. Go to me.
I love that. I
That's it.
love that. My last question to you on that, and then we're gonna move forward. I don't know if this is being too nosy, but when you are doing business, and you can either say this as an actual example with the transactions you did, or just in general rule. When you are doing transactions like that for like your mother, grandmother, people that are closest to you, do they get some type of deal or discount? Are you adjusting your commission, or are you keeping everything business?
Um, of course, if it need be, yeah, I will adjust commission. I do not charge transaction fees on any family
For sure.
members. That's something that I got discretion on. So a
Mm-hmm,
lot of
mm-hmm.
times my commission is based off what the seller. If I'm helping them as a buyer, the seller has already established that commission. Now, obviously, I can do a little different things. Like my broker allows you to uh, put some of your commission towards some of your client's closing costs. It's a family member like that.
Really?
Uh,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so
Hmm.
yeah, you can do that as an agent. But at the end of the day, like for me, my mom, my grandmother, that wasn't just a business transaction for me.
For
Uh,
sure.
and on top of it,
Yeah.
I had to do a lot of the paperwork for them. People get older, they need help. So
Yep.
I was
Yep.
helping them through the whole aspect, educating them on different things. So it
Mm-hmm.
was really hands on with them
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to another client. Like I'm not really, helping them turn in documents to their
Right.
lender.
Right.
But
No.
with them, yeah, it was a little bit more personal. But
No.
yeah, they
Trust
do
me. I
get
get it.
discount. They gonna get a discount. If I had to
Mm-hmm.
give my whole commission to it, they can have it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's real. That's real. I like that, man. Yeah. 'Cause I feel the same way, man. I wouldn't say it's like buying your mom a home. It could feel like that, but nonetheless, I mean, you helping your mom get a new home. I mean, I will do any and everything I can to help my mom also. So I 100% get that, man. But you're a better
Respect.
person than me because I'm charging my mom full price and I might mark it up. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking, ma. I love you. Kind of, sort of. All right. So anyway, I want to talk about consistency being a key to your success, especially in the digital space. What does it mean to you be? What does it mean to you to be consistent in a digital space, and how have you benefited from your own consistency?
Being consistent in the digital space is always being present. When somebody think about real estate, when they're looking at social media, any platform, they need to be thinking about Antwuan Hawkins.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to keep content going. You got to let people know what you're doing. If you're at a closing, you get the closing recorded. I got an excellent closing video with clients just letting us know how they experience was with us. So you have to stay out there. Whether it's uh, farming a different area, sending out postcards, letting them know, hey, I'm in this area. We got a client looking for a house. That's an excellent way to get listens too. You can send out, I got a client in this area, because sometimes you do have clients that looking in the area and they just can't get any inventory. Inventory
Right.
is historically down in the state of Michigan right now.
Mm-hmm.
In a
Mm-hmm.
healthy market, we looking at 6 months of inventory right now. We're like a month and a half, if that. So being present and on and marketing, you have to be present on social media. You have to be constantly trying to get people to work with you because it's very competitive. Real estate is competitive, and you got to have something that's going to separate you from that other agent.
Yeah.
And consistency is key. If they see you marketing yourself constantly, then they know you're going to market that house. They know you're going to go hard for them to get that particular property because you care.
Good
And if you
point.
don't care about yourself and you ain't marketing yourself, then why would I trust you to market my home? It just don't make sense.
I love that look, man. I love that angle. That's 100%. Now that I think about it, yeah, if you see someone consistently posting homes, posting listings, posting things that they're doing as an agent, like consistently, then I would only imagine if I were to do business with you, you would do the same, because this is actually for money. This is actually for your income, for what you do. So I imagine you would go hard for that reason, for that listing. Great way to round that out right there. Looking back throughout your career again, reflecting right now, what key lessons have you learned about yourself, the real estate industry, and the importance of serving others?
Well, one thing that I learned about myself is that I'm resilient. Real estate is not easy. People think that you get a license is easy. It's not. It's not as easy as just opening up a door and letting somebody in that house. It is so many variables that happens in a deal, and you can have a deal that's close to closing and it fall apart because
Mm-hmm.
maybe the title company dropped the ball. Something's going on with your client's finances. You told that client not to buy that boat, but they didn't wind up out there and bought that boat and messed their credit up. They switch jobs in between the transaction. Real estate is not for the weak. And one thing I learned from doing this is that I'm resilient. I'm relentless because I'm going to try to get the deal done. Whatever it has to happen in it, then that's what I'm going to do. You know, that's a good teaching point for anybody out there trying to go into real estate. You have to be relentless. You have to be resilient.
Yeah.
If not, you're not going to be lasting in this business.
Yeah. Good point. Good point. Did you want to answer the other portions? I don't know if you answered it all in that one. The industry and the importance of serving others. Was that all
So
rounded into
you
that?
say in the industry and importance of serving others.
Yeah, yeah. The lessons you learned about the importance of serving others and the real estate industry as a whole. I
So
wasn't
one of the
sure if that
lessons,
response encompassed all of
yeah.
those.
So one of the lessons I learned about helping people in the industry is that sometimes you gotta spoon feed people information, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you gotta be on top of them to get things done because everybody you gonna find clients from different intellectual aspects. You might have somebody that's very educated in the computers, educated in doing different things, and then you got clients that don't really know much.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the importance is they're trusting you. So you gotta have some integrity. If you know something wrong with that house, you need to tell your client about it. You gotta tell them to get that inspection because oftentimes clients ain't thinking about all that stuff. They just want the house.
Yeah.
But I always get them inspections. I always go over the reports with them. If I gotta get out of the deal, you get out of that deal for them. Money is not that important. Money is important, but you get out of that deal if your client's not gonna be safe.
Yeah.
And that is something that you have to learn or get the grasp of when you're servicing the community. You're not just here to just write the contracts up. You're here to make sure they're in a safe environment and they got the house that they really wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they're being led by you as the professional to take them into those uncharted territories. Like you said, they may have blinders on and only be focused on just getting in the property, but you have to show them the other paths that they have to go through in order to get to that destination, and show them, well, make sure we do our due diligence this way, make sure we do our due diligence that way, and then we can eventually make it to our destination if it's meant for us to be there anyway.
If it's
So
meant for us to be there, I mean, you might
yeah.
come into a house that's
Yeah.
fully remodeled, but it's,
Mm-hmm.
it's mold in the basement. It could be a
Ooh.
lot of stuff like, and I tell any client like, this house looks beautiful. Like we looking at it, it looks very beautiful on the inside, but we don't know what's behind those closed doors. So we need to get an inspection to make sure we're okay.
Yep, literally what's in between the walls and all of that type of stuff. So,
Mhm.
well said, man. Hey, thank you so much, Antwan, for accepting our invitation on the closing table and being here and sharing your knowledge. We appreciate that, sir. At this point, if you have any last words and or want to tell people how to reach out to you, please do so now.
Well, I definitely thank you for putting me on the closing table. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Kevin. I want to give people a few angles. You can reach me. My cell phone number is 734 I also have an Instagram account, Antwan Hawkins underscore Esquire, ESQ. And I'll be happy to speak to anybody. If you see me in the public, you got questions, always feel free to reach out to me because I'll be happy to talk to you.
There it is. Approachable. We love that, man. Thank you again, Antwan, for being here. And for our YouTube audience watching right now, if you got into this point of the video, do us both a favor and hit the like button, please and thank you. Make sure you also share the content and subscribe to our channel. And if you are listening on Apple, Spotify, or any other podcast platforms, please do the same. Give us a like, 5-star rating, and subscribe for the latest content. Hey, Antwan, I'm going to leave our audience with a question before we leave so their brains can get to moving and grooving. So this is for our audience. Have you ever had to go to court for a home buying or home selling transaction? If so, what was the case and what did you learn? Don't tell us now. Leave it in the comments below. Besides that, we'll talk to you next time.